So I'm going to try doing a tutorial, a lesson that I bought the other day, quite reasonably, from a lady in England who teaches watercolor painting. Now this is not necessarily exclusively a watercolor technique, but it's called negative painting, where you draw the figures on your paper. This is watercolor paper, 140 pounds, or 300 GSM, cold pressed, 60% cotton. So it's not the best paper I've got, it's just the stuff I use for my practices. But you can see the texture of the paper is quite bumpy. And with egg temper painting, that's not desirable. So I haven't been using this paper very much, but the lady who does the videos says cold press for this technique is most desirable because of the bumpiness. Textured surface. And the thing that it's used most often for is this technique of negative painting is to create the illusion of depth that you're seeing into the depth of a painting. So you do it in layers. Now, its reason it's called negative painting is that you draw the outline of the figure, in this case a leaf, sycamore leaf that I picked up on the way home from church today. Oops, I just broke the tip off. All right. You paint around the edge of it, like this, and then you paint the area around the leaf. And you can do it in layers. So you could do, this is a fig leaf, this is fig, this is sycamore, and here are some, this is a couple of mulberry leaves that I got, all just picked up on the way home today. So you do this, right, and you draw around the edges of these leaves, so you've got an outline. And then you draw you paint the negative space. You fill the negative space around the edges with paint, and then let that dry. You've done an underpainting first. Then you fill up the negative spaces around the leaves. Right? You kind of outline them in that way. And then you let that dry. And then you do another arrangement of leaves, and you do a thin wash around this new arrangement, right? So you put this over here, and you put this down here, and like that, see? All right, so you've got a new arrangement. And then you do another outline in a thin wash over top of the first one. And you can do that like three layers in the same way, where the leaves in different positions. So what it looks like in the end is a painting where the first layer is furthest away from the viewer, so like it has depth, and then you, like layers of leaves on top of each other, and they're all in this nice watercolor washes. Anyway, I'll show you when it's done, and we'll see if it works out. Okay? I'm using these because I don't actually have very many actual watercolor paints. This is watercolor, it's ultramarine, and I got another one, I think, yeah, I got a alizarin crimson. These are just Cotman, Winsor & Newton Cotman paints. And the rest of them are all varying qualities of gouache. Thought maybe I'd touch it up at the end, do a little sparkle with some, that gold is pretty good for a little sparkle. And if that's no good, then we've got a Winsor & Newton acrylic gold. But apart from that, we've got designer gouache, which means that it has quite a good quality of gouache, and it's you can use it like watercolor, and it has not as much opacifier, not as much filler in it. And this one is a disintegrating cap. I'm going to have to put that in a pen. Look, it's just raining little bits of plastic everywhere. Gross. So we got this, and we got a little burnt umber, and some green. I don't know what kind of green that is. Green maybe. Some more blue, and some orange. So I can put these together, and they'll all make kind of vaguely. That's burnt umber, also. Alizarin, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, vermilion, one of my favorites. favorites. It's very iconographic color. And some more ultramarine to mix with some primary yellow to make nice green. And what else we got here? Oh, quinacridone magenta. Like, I just have absolutely no idea. Quinacridone magenta. What even is that? We'll find out. And that's what I'm going to do. So we'll see how it goes.